So we are here to continue the set of the classes of how to make money with the wisdom of Kabbalah, and we gave one advice about how to change the Mazal by changing the location, right? We said that this is related with Abraham Avinu. Now, actually, there's 3 points that I gave one of them. One of them is to change the name. משנה שם, משנה מזל. משנה מקום, משנה מזל. To change the place changes the Mazal, right? What's the logic? Because the Mazal is the result of the person, his location around the globe, and the time that he's living. His point on the timeline of the creation. So that all of those 3 factors are affecting the Mazal, right? So changing the place, that's one advice. Second advice that I want to present today, maybe 2 advices we'll say today, is the Shinui Hashem, to change the name, and to change the act. Okay, those 2 things are also done by Abraham Avinu. It's brought down that this is the 3 things, 3 keys that he was using to change his Mazal, to get his son that he needed, he wanted. So Shinui Hashem, changing name, is a whole big thing, and many Mekubalim, they are dealing with it and doing the calculation of the gematria of the name, and giving people advices about what names to add, when to change the name totally. Usually the advice is to add a name, not to change the totally name, just to add a name. But it depends on the situation. If the situation is very bad, it's very severe, sometimes the advice is to change the name. But that's something that it needs a little bit. It's not something that a person can really do himself usually, because how would you know that the new name that you're adding or changing is better than what you have? Maybe it's worse. You don't want to change for something that is worse, obviously. So it's not so simple to make it that it will be fitting, but there is a possibility like that. Okay, there is a possibility like that. Now, the Kabbalistic tradition for that is to say over a certain prayer that is brought down in the books of the Mekubalim in the time of the opening of the Aron Kodesh for Kriyat Torah. Okay, so I'm not saying that without doing this whole ceremony it doesn't apply, but if somebody wants to follow that tradition of how to do the changing of the name properly according to the Kabbalah, that's the way to do it. There's a certain prayer that is quite long, that preferably to have a whole minyan, whole 10 people that are saying that prayer together for that person, that within that prayer, so basically the idea is that we're praying to Hashem that if there is a decree on that person and we're saying the old name, there's no decree on this person and we're saying the new name. So we are putting out the whatever was the Mazal of that first name, and bringing a new channel of Mazal to the new name to connect it to the person. So obviously when you have 10 people that are Torah scholars, that they know what they're doing and they understand the meaning of those things, that are saying that together, this prayer for the behalf of this person in time of the opening of the Aron Kodesh, obviously it makes much of a stronger effect for the person to get a new Mazal than if he just deciding himself, I'm going to change my name from now on, my name won't be so, it will be something else. Yeah, can do that, but it's not so effective. If it is done properly with all of this ceremony, the traditional ceremony, so then that act will make a big difference with the help of Hashem. So that will be the second advice on how to change the Mazal. And another point that is also very significant, and also that we learn from Abraham Avinu, is to change the acts. Meaning, that's the third part of that equation, that when someone have a certain act, that act is affecting him, causing him to receive something that is negative in his life, or not receiving something that is positive, which is basically the same. So usually those things, many times it is a result of something that happened in the past or still happening. And when a person is making a strong decision of that is regretting whatever he did and he's not going to do it again, and he's starting like a new page in his life, changing that specific point, that can be a very, very strong tool to change the Mazal. Okay? And this is the what it's brought down in the holy books about Abraham Avinu, that he did all of the three. He changed his location, he changed his name, Hashem changed his name, right? Obviously, that's the strongest. That's better than anything else. Hashem changed his name, and also he changed the acts from whatever he was growing up with, which was idol worshipping, and he stopped with the idol worshipping. He broke the status and so on and so forth, all the story of Abraham Avinu, and he went to a new way in his life. Not only new way like physically to go to Eretz Israel, also to connect to Hashem in a different way. So that is the last advice for today, to make a clear decision of changing your act. When you're changing your act, you're changing your Mazal. Okay? So I'm sure that anyone that have some kind of a negative effect in his life from anything, or he needs certain positive effect that is missing and it doesn't happen, anyone that is looking deep in his life of what he's doing or what he's not doing will know about a few things that he needs to change. And everybody have few things that they know that they need to change, and it's hard for them to get the strength to make that change. It's hard to get to find the strength for that. And that's normal. That's the part of our nature, is that we are lazy, and it's very hard to change bad habits, right? But when you have something like that you really need that and you really want that, so that will be the best incentive. If you strengthen your faith that yes, by changing that, I believe that Hashem will give me that blessing. I will do this sacrifice and give up on that bad habit and give up on that lust and desire, whatever it is that it's hard for me to let go of, and in that change that I'm doing for myself, within myself, Hashem will use that merit and give me the blessing that I need. And you can say it out, you can pray to Hashem in that sacrifice that you do, that you're giving up on that thing to change your act, you'll get the blessing that you need. And I hope that it's fitting for whoever is listening. And Bezrat Hashem, next time I will go back to the subject matter of the astrology and the cabalistic astrology, and we'll get a little bit into that. Thank you very much. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.